So let's get started again. I have just discussed with some people that in their companies, the design thinking was introduced, but as a tool set. So it's very, very typical. It's very typical in your organization or company or somebody who is interested in this, just pick up the tool set of design thinking because it's easy, right? Because you can find many books and many pages of fascinating tool sets. But tool set without mindset and confidence is almost like Innovation Man again, right? You're just doing the tools and not thinking why you're using that tool, for what, and where you're getting to, okay? And if you want me to show you Innovation Man again, I will, but yes, on a request basis, okay? Okay, so just, we just listened to David Carey saying creative confidence is key for design thinking practice. And of course, it's key for many other things too. And the term he used in the video, the guided mastery. I love that, and I'm trying to design this course as a guided mastery as well. And I hope you're feeling that too. Like yesterday's exercise, you never thought about innovativeness explicitly probably, but you're now a little bit more comfortable and you know what it means, right? And you never explicitly thought about values or non-obvious values. But now you're exposed and you're a little bit more comfortable. And you have a little more confidence that we can do that. Maybe you can do it, right? So I'm trying to design whole class, whole workshop as a guided mastery. And I think it's working. And here now I like to talk about design thinking materials because you can find a lot of good materials and some are bad materials online and on the bookstore. And I'm talking about the good ones, okay? And I'm going to give you some tips to read these good ones. So this is D-School material, Introduction to Design Thinking Process Guide and Bootcamp Bootleg that you have in your file. If you don't, let us know. We have more copies. So please check you have them, the Bootcamp Bootleg and the Introduction to the Design Process Guide. Those are two different things that you already got yesterday, probably, right? And Introduction to Design Thinking Process Guide. Can you open that for me? Do you have a copy? No? Yeah. So in this process guide, of course there is so many things written, but what I really want you to focus is the why part. The why. Do you find it there? There is always a why section in each process or each mode, right? That's where the meat is. I mean, it depends. If you're like a medical doctor, then you're probably doing completely different how than engineers do, right? If you're like a local, baby shop store owner, then you'll be doing how completely differently. So how depends on who you are and like what you're doing. But why should be the same or very similar, right? So try to read through all the whys and why you empathize, okay? And why you define and why you ideate, why you prototype and such. So whys are quite important. And same with the Bootcamp Bootleg. You need to have, I have it. Yeah, Bootcamp Bootleg. So if you open up the Bootcamp Bootleg, the most important part on the Bootcamp Bootleg is the second page or the third page. I have it here. Let's see. So in the Bootcamp Bootleg, there is a page dedicated to D mindset. Do you find it? Here, this one right here. It's page, maybe page 2 or 3 in your booklet. And after that, you'll see a very similar thing as a process guide. But I think this is very important. The mindset. Okay? Without this mindset, the rest of the book doesn't mean anything to you. Alright? So I know there's a tendency of you jumping onto hows, right? Tools. How do I brainstorm? How do I do empathy work? How do I do prototyping? But before that, you need to understand why you do that, why you want to do that. Okay? And understanding why helps you to realize when to do in the project. Okay? Otherwise, you'll be told to do prototyping, you'll be told to do brainstorming, but in the real project, no one will tell you what to do. Who decides what to do? You. Right? To know that, you need to understand why. Why do we do design thinking? What are the essence of design thinking? Whys? So this D mindset is quite important to be settled as a fundamental before you get into all the fascinating tool sets. Okay? And I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to ask you to raise hands, but I'm pretty sure you have skimmed through the tool set, but you skipped all the mindset part. You probably never read this part. You knew there is a part like that, but I'm pretty sure you skipped it and just went directly into the tools. I know. Okay, so those are the two things that I already gave it to you. And please, take a look. Take a look. It's quite interesting. It's very valuable. And just a few pages will give you an inspiration. And when you're reading it, try to, remember David Kelly. Think of as him telling you this. Okay? That's why I showed you his personal video. And I think it really, transmits very well. Whenever you're reading this, remember him. Because he's the one talking about this. Okay? And Ideal Materials, Design Kit. This is the website that ideal.org, the designkit.org is doing. So designkit.org, this is, this is ideal.org. So this is not the company Ideal, but this is the org, the non-profit organization part of Ideal that is trying to propagate or expand the design thinking. And this is a great website with a lot of method introduced. But the most important button here is this mindset again. So I know if I were you studying or trying to learn or pick up design thinking, I know the button you click will be this one, right? Or this, case studies. Oh yes, I love case studies. I need to learn that. Or, I need to know some methods. But no. The first button you need to click is the mindset. Okay? Again, I'm telling you the same thing. But this Ideal Materials or D-School materials are carefully presented so that you will understand the mindset way before you get into the tool set. Okay? But I know a lot of people just ignore that. But that's not how you do this. Again, the same for Human-Centered Design Toolkit. Okay, for the Human-Centered Design Toolkit, that's also Ideal product. I'll show you the PDF version. I have a printed version here if you want to take a look. Let's see. So you need to register to download it, but it's a free registration, and all you need to do is just register and download it. That's simple as that. And this is the design toolkit, right? And if you take a look at this design toolkit, it's fascinating with a lot of pictures. It's colorful. It's fancy, and you see a lot of steps, right? When you hear steps, oh, that's what I need to learn, right? Because you want to follow the steps and achieve something. But no. The more important part is, why do human-centered design, right? So you skip introduction all the time. But introduction is there for a reason. Okay? So I know you've probably seen these materials, but I know you have skipped all this. Don't. Okay? The meat is there. All the rest is bells and whistles, I would say. Because you're not designer, you're not industrial designer, you're not ideal people. You're people working in very different contexts. So what you need to pick up is why and mindset. And you think of how you do it. Okay? So that's what I really, really wanted to say. So look at this. Methods. Right? Interview guide. Oh, guide, I love guides. Give me templates, right? So that I can fill out. That's the mentality that you can fall into, right? When you're struggling, when you are in need of something, right? When you're desperate, then you like to jump onto that. But that is missing the whole point of design thinking, because it's a mindset, all right? Not, you don't stick it in your hands, but you stick it in your brain and heart, okay? So that's important. And one last thing is design thinking for educators toolkit. Again, it is set as a toolkit, but I can show you what it looks like. And again, I have a printed out version here. I should have printed out more, but since it's registered, you can just register and download it. I did not print it out for you, but here, okay. So again, these steps looks very fascinating to you, but the important part is this, page 18. If you only remember a few things, ... This is about you, right? If you cannot remember everything, then it's page 18. If you only remember a few things, this is that. It's a mindset. You are a designer. Embrace your beginner's mind. Stepping out of your zone of comfort. Learning is learning. Problems are just opportunities for design in discretes, right? So this is again the mindset, right? So there's huge tendency of people just jumping onto the methods and tools of the design thinking, but that's not the meat of the story. The meat of the story, the core of the story, is a mindset. So I really want to focus that each materials have whys and mindsets. Specifically, explicitly. This is the way they present this. So if you are presenting to your colleagues, whoever you work with, don't start from the tool set. Okay? You need to start from the mindset as well. To do so, you need to understand the mindset. And understanding mindsets sounds weird, right? You need to have that, in your mind somehow. And that only can be gained by experience. So I hope this experience will give you or help you to get the mindset. So we'll be talking very little about toolset. Because toolset, you can just go and download. All right? And I'm not going to be telling you different toolset after different toolset. Or the different tools after different tools. So here's KO Edge flavored delivery of design thinking. Okay? You probably may expect it to learn a lot of toolset, but I won't. Please download and read. Or there's many YouTubes telling about the toolset. And there's many books about the toolset. The one I really like is, oh shoot, I don't have the English version. So this is 101 Design Method, 101 Design Method by, the same title, 101 Design Method by Illinois IIT, no not IIT, Illinois Institute of Technology, yes, IIT, right. So they have, I think they published the book in US in 2011, I guess, and then this was published in Japan last year. And you see 101 methods of different methods, okay? But again, this isn't from the IDEO or D-School, but the core of the book is not the method, but first 11 pages talking about the mindset. So it's all about the first 11 pages. And all the rest, go ahead and read if you're interested or if you're in need. But again, so that's not the heart of the book. Even in the Illinois Institute of Technology. So how we deliver is the mindset. Mindset is what we want you to become comfortable, okay? And then the confidence is what we want you to gain through the exercise. And the tool set is something we will spend less time on because it can be picked up from the written materials, online, book, or whatever. Because it's a waste of time if we just talk about tool sets. But tool set has to be taught with the set of mindset, right? Tool set and the mindset needs to come in combination. So when we talk about tool set, I'll try to emphasize the mindset or the confidence you need to have to use that tool set properly. And unless you use the tool set with the right mindset, you'll never get result. You'll never get outcome. Okay? For example, who has done brainstorming? Who has done any kind of brainstorming? Who has very good experience of having a great result of brainstorming? See? Yeah, that's common. That's common because brainstorming without the right mindset is just a bunch of post-it notes on the wall. And you probably know that, right? You probably know that. So today I will talk about brainstorming, but with the mindset and with some tips to practice that mindset so that your brainstorming, even a very simple tool set like a brainstorming can improve so much dramatically with the right mindset. Okay, some keywords in design thinking. Before I get into today's exercise, some keywords. Empathy is a big word in design thinking, right? And okay, here's a question. Why do we empathize? It was in the video. Anybody? Why do we empathize? Why do they say we should empathize? Right, yes, okay, right. Anybody else? Why it was in the video of the first video? Yeah.
To understand the behavior of the customer?
Right, of the person you're targeting or you're focusing? Yes, right. So it's a quote. It's empathetic to people when he was describing about the design thinking. And he said, David said, try to really understand what they really value. They meaning people really value, right? And we talked about this yesterday, remember? It's the same. It's the same. So we empathize because we want to understand the real value, what the people really think it's valuable. So value, we talked about yesterday, is someone's benefit, someone's gain, someone's joy, satisfaction, pain relief, and etc. This is something you want to find by empathizing this person, okay? Otherwise, you cannot find it, right? All you find is obvious values, right? These are mostly non-obvious values, right? Obvious values is the water, clean water you can drink. That's obvious, but that's not the main focus. You need to empathize and understand how they are thinking, how they're feeling, and then you find the real value. So the key word empathy, here's the hint. You may think that you are empathizing, but it is about feeling the real feelings of the others. Okay? So it's not about thinking that you think you're empathizing, but it's about feeling. Okay? It's very easy to say, put yourself in someone's shoes. It's very easy to say, but it's about actually putting yourself in someone's context. Okay? Actually, maybe getting yourself in there, the actual physical situation. Or maybe try to mimic the situation that your target might be in. So, yeah, here's advice from a practitioner. Okay? This is advice from me and some other guys who practices design thinking in a real project. If you cannot feel true empathy for whoever you're designing for, then change your scope or don't do that project. For real. I mean, if you cannot empathize at all, I don't think your result will be in a good shape in terms of human-centered design. So but yes, this is the ultimate road you want to take, right? I'm not doing this project. But change the scope. It can help, okay? If you were just focusing on one thing and you cannot empathize at all, look at it from different direction. Try to find other insight so that it will give you a new light to look at your problem, okay? So this is, I think, very practical advice from the practitioners. If you cannot empathize the target, don't do the project. Okay? Start the project when you can empathize him or her. Alright? So this is, I think this is very practical. And so putting yourself in someone's context is described in the bootcamp bootleg. Can you open the page, I don't know, page 18 on the PowerPoint, the PDF, but I think it's 15 that is, wait, where is it? What page is it? Can you find analogous empathy? Yeah, page 12. So, this is something you may be surprised to see. So when you hear empathy, then you think you need to go into their real situation to empathize him or her, right? But in the bootcamp bootleg, there's a very interesting page dedicated to analogous empathy. So if you cannot go to, I don't know, for example, Africa, to see how your possible clients are doing, and of course, if you have money and time, you go. You should go. But if you can't, there's another way to empathize. Find the analogy. Do you understand analogy? Analogy, oh, I don't have a pen. But analogy is something you learned in elementary school, maybe, or thanks, or middle school. That two triangles are analogous. When it shares the same characteristic, it looks different, but it shares the same characteristic. So here, what it's saying, oh, in Japanese it's soji. Soji-kei. Now I'm sound like more a teacher. Right. So look for analogy, and you dive into it, and then you might understand how people in the real situation are feeling, or thinking, or seeing, right? So this is one very good technique, and you can do this elsewhere. Find the analogous situation, and it's quite interesting. And again, of course, in the bootcamp bootleg, there's always Y section. All right, don't skip the Y section. Okay, I'm gonna keep saying this because I know you do. I know you skip them, but don't skip the Y section. All right. So the empathy, that was the key word. So here's a question for you. In your design process, who do you empathize with? Anybody? Yeah? End users? Yes? Right? Yushi, too late. Yes. Good try. Nice try though. He was jumping with the microphone. Okay. So you want to empathize your end users. Yes, of course. The end users. That's it? Yes?
Maybe same with end users, but several stakeholders. So because they have different perspectives.
Right. Can you name specific stakeholder that you can think of? Maybe one? Yeah, maybe one specific stakeholder. Who are stakeholders? User is one of your stakeholders, right? Who could be?
Users' family.
Users' family, the people around. Okay, good. Yeah, I put it users' customers or users' surrounding people. Yes? What else?
important part is the investor himself, the one who's going
okay.
to pay for the
Invest.
project.
Okay. Yes. Of course. Yes. Oh. No, go ahead. You're next.
Delivery chain, supply chain,
Okay. Okay. The
Entire-
person in the supply chain.
yeah,
Okay.
entire value chain. So the suppliers as well as the people who managing logistics.
Okay. Good. The lady in the back. Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm still working on your names.
The people who sell their product. Or
Right, sales clerks, yes. Right, exactly. So it's not just users, but it's users, customers that you need to empathize with. The payers, right? There's often the case, user and payer is a different person. Okay? For example, product for kids, toys. Right? Toys are used by kids, but paid by parents, right? And we have very different, you resonate with me, right? We have very different concerns. My kid, she's just concerned about Anpanman. Okay, that's all she's thinking. How big the Anpanman is on her toy or whatever. I don't know what she's concerned is, but I'm concerned whether if it's safe, okay? Whether if it's educational somewhat. So there's very different concerns. So if you just empathize with users, you'll never get paid, right? No one will buy it for you. Kids might love it, but you'll probably get the parent of the kid will never pay for that toy. And the decision maker, and the sales clerk, delivery person, repair person. So it's not only the end user you need to empathize with. Because of course, the empathizing with user is somewhat more primary. I admit. But if you think about the whole life cycle of your product or service or whatever you're thinking about, you need to empathize each one of them, right? Think about if you empathize your user's customer, and the player and decision maker, and you forget about sales clerk. Think about it. Okay, if you came up with a product like this, and you empathize with the user, okay, how they're going to use this. And the user's customer, it means you, right? So I'm writing, and you can see the color. And then the decision maker, the school will buy it, so it can come in batches, a huge batch, and it's cheap. So okay, I empathize with every one of them, and it looking good. But what if I forgot about the sales clerk? He or she cannot sell the stuff, right? He or she cannot go to some organization or company and tell about this product, right? If I were, a little bit more careful when I was designing whole product, I could have been a little bit more careful about the sales clerk, how he or she may communicate about the product. That can improve my product very much. So there is a misunderstanding. Maybe this isn't explicitly written in the D-School material, but there's of course emphasis on you want to emphasize your end users. But don't forget, human-centered it's not user-centered. Okay? If it needs to be user-centered, they should have written user-centered. But it's human-centered. And human is everywhere. You're human, the one designing, right? And just human everywhere. So it is human-centered design. It's not user-centered design. So I need to say this because, okay, I hope I'm not offending anybody from the big companies that I'm gonna somewhat talking about. So in some companies, human-centered design is taken as improvement of user interfaces. Yes, there is that aspect of improving user interface, but that's not the point. That's not the point. Okay? It's actually about the real value, providing the real value. Of course, human interface is one of it. And user experience is including the human interface and maybe the experience around, but still, that's narrow definition. Okay? It's not about user interface. itself, it's not about just user experience, it's about everyone's experience. Because it's human everywhere. So please keep that in your mind. Please keep that in your mind. Of course, primary empathizing target will be your user, but that's not the only one. Do you remember the ice cream scoop that he was talking about in the video, David? We went to IDEO and there is the whole bunch of series of that kitchenware displayed, and we had almost the same conversation with the lady that she took us to the tour. And do you know what they really focused? Do you know how they empathized with the end user? That was the end user empathy, that ice cream scoop. They empathize, not user digging the ice cream, but they empathize user licking the scoop. So the scoop, you know the ice cream scoop? Yeah, it's a big spoon. Of course, it's nice, and you can put the good pressure on it, and it scoops very well. But what they really focus is when they lick the scoop. So it's a lickable, or it's a lick-friendly scoop that they built. We never tried. Me and Yoshi never tried, but we wanted to try. But that's the empathy they found, and that's the non-obvious value of that scoop. Yes? Of course scoop should be a good scoop, right? But if it's a lickable scoop, or lick-friendly scoop, it's a better scoop. So that was the IDEO's empathize result. So, but if you just focus on the user interface, the very narrow definition, then you may have a good scoop that mechanically that works very well. But the non-obvious value is the focus that they really pursue. So, okay, another keyword, insight in design thinking. Okay?
Oh, I have one question.
Sure, yes, go ahead. Oh, sorry, stop me anytime if you have questions.
So can you go back to
Sure.
the slide? So we have to think about sales plug and other stuff around the product.
Yes.
When you think of empathizing with those people, do you still value non-obvious value?
Depends. It probably depends, right? Because like I said, your product or service is a combination of different values, right? Maybe that includes non-obvious values, for example, like a licking value, okay. Yes, the secret pleasure, right? And of course, your scoop has to have a good performance as a scoop as well. So if your sales clerk is just emphasizing the licking part, then it's not gonna work, right? So he or she has to be knowledgeable about the scoop itself, or the mechanism of the scoop. So you don't only focus on one value, or you don't just focus on one thing, and it really depends on who you are empathizing. Your end user might like your non-obvious value, but your decision maker or payer might like very different value. Yeah. For example, the toy case. The end user loves the toy, how fascinating it is, what kind of noise it makes. But again, the payer, the parents, they care the safety, right? Right. So it really depends on who you empathize and how what value they receive. So when we get to day 5, business synthesis, we will talk about this because it's a value proposition. Yes, you heard about the term. You heard the term. Value proposition is always about who receives that value, right? So I can propose my value to end user, or I can propose my different value, same product but different value, or I can deliver the value differently to the payer, right? So the value proposition depends on who you're talking to, and then the empathy as well. It depends on who you empathize to, and then you probably looking at the different values. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Yes, please.
Excuse me, so I'd like to put it a little bit quantitative. So when can we judge that we are enough with empathizing?
Good question. I don't know. Whenever you're confident, I guess. So, I don't know. Probably you're working in team, right? Have you worked on the paid project or
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And
Many times we find that, okay, we say we are enough,
yes.
we covered a lot of aspects,
Right.
but unfortunately you find that we missed out with something.
Right.
It's not well covered,
Right.
and we skipped some points.
Right.
We wanted to go ahead.
Yes.
We have time to market, things like that.
Yes.
So it's a little bit qualitative
Yes.
approach,
Yes.
and we cannot really judge it in a quantitative matter.
Right.
And when you deal with projects,
Yes.
you need things to be transferred into time and code.
Yes.
So how we can judge this?
Well, I think you have the point. I mean, we can't. We can't. And one thing that design thinking, because we're talking about design thinking, telling us is that you prototype early as possible, so that you won't miss the unknown, right? You don't leave that blind spot. That's how you prototype. You learn, you do it quick, and you try to minimize the blind spot. Yeah. So that's me answering from the perspective of the design thinking. Yeah. But to be honest, we can't. There is no, good decision gate or any useful decision gate for any project. Yes. But
I agree.
yeah, right. So you need to kind of build the confidence by doing a lot of things. So iterative process will help you to build the confidence. So yeah, maybe one thing I can say is that don't do it linear process. Because linear process, you're very, very suspicious about everything, anxious about everything. But iterative process, you'll build confidence. Because I've done a lot, I've seen a lot, I've thought about a lot, I walked around a lot. Can give you a good confidence.
Agile process, I think. Also.
Right. Yes. In the software
Yeah,
development,
yeah.
we call it agile.
Yeah.
And then many different industry call it in different ways. But I think it's all comes into do it and then learn it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Good question. Good questions. All right. So moving into another keyword, insight. This is important and misunderstood often. So I'm going to cover this. Okay, insight is a type of finding that initiates or boosts your design process. Okay, so I have this in Japanese, so I'll just keep the Japanese later. But insight is not just regular finding. Okay, especially in the design process, it's something that boosts your process, and is often a trigger for your next action. If you get an insight, then you're ready to explore. Furthermore, go to the expert and ask, or maybe Google some terms, or do testing or prototyping or whatever. So the insight can trigger. Often it's a trigger for your next action, and your solution is often built around it or built with your favorite or strongest or unique insight. Okay. So in the design process, maybe at the very end of this course, when we do the design exercise, I will probably ask you, after you present your solution, what is your strongest insight drove your solution? Okay? Because the solution without insight is just a flash idea. But if you have found insight and looked around that insight and built your solution carefully around it, then it's more convincing. It's more convincing, and you can pivot around your insight. Okay, you don't pivot your solution completely, but you kind of stick onto the insight and change your solution. That's more practical pivoting or changing of directions. And this is me putting in this term. Insight can be, or insight tastes like. What insight tastes like? It's unusual in the beginning, but very interesting when you think about it. Okay, so I'm trying to compare with the boring findings and the insight that can drive your innovative design process. So insight can taste like, insight can be unfamiliar in the beginning, but very, very convincing once you start digging into. So this is the type of findings or insight that you're kind of looking for. And here's in Japanese. インサイトってこれよく日本語でも出てくるんですけど、なんですかね、勘違いというか誤解をされていることが多いので、これ日本語でも言っておきたいと思うんですけど、イノベーション創出という言い方をしてますけど、に向けて自分たちの思考や行動の起点となったり、思考や行動を推進させるような新しい気づきや洞察ですと。よくですね、気づきとか洞察ですと訳すんですけど、気づきとか洞察って安売りされてる言葉だと思うんですよね。例えばなんかつまんない研修に行って今日気づきありましたかって言われたら、はい気づきありましたって言いますよね、皆さん。あれと一緒にしてしまうともったいないということです。デザインプロセスをグッと推し進めるための気づきや洞察ですよと。で、さっき言ったようにちょっと一瞬あれ変だなと、聞いたことないなと思うんですけど、よく考えると非常に興味深いとか、最初はなんかちょっと違和感があるなと思うんですけど、よく考えるととても説得力があると。そういうタイプのファインディングス、発見であるよということを言ってるわけです。So here's some definitions of insight from different materials that I already presented you. So this is a human-centered design toolkit. Here's a insight definition. Insights are revelations and the unexpected things that makes you sit up and pay attention. Okay? And insights extrapolate individual stories into overarching truths. Insight allow us to see our design challenge in a new light. I like the way they put it. Okay? So if you have an insight, then your design process will move on, will proceed. And here's the Japanese, my version of explanation or translation. You can look at that. So insight is not just ordinary findings, but it helps your design process. Okay? And of course, there is no single definition for insight yet. I don't think it'll be created one, but there is no single explanation or single definition. And here's another definition from a process guide. And it's not a direct definition, but it's written in a way it could be taken as a definition. So quote from Define Mode. So page 4, if you will. Page 4 of the process guide, with the black. Here, it's this guy right here. Yeah. Go open the Define Mode, which is page 4, and you'll find it. So Define Mode is also an endeavor to synthesize your scattered findings into powerful insights. And it is the synthesis of your empathy work that gives you the advantage that no one else has. Discoveries that you can leverage to tackle the design challenge. That is insight. Okay? I think it's very similar to what we just saw, but that's the type of insight. That's the type of finding that you're looking for. And then the third one is not a direct explanation of an insight, but it's an example of an interesting insight. So here's another misunderstanding of design thinking, that when you hear design thinking, you go, I don't know, extremist. I mean, so meaning that I do design thinking but nothing else. I see a lot of people like that. I'll be human-centered only. I'm not talking about data. I'm not going to look at any data because I'm a human-centered people or person. But no, that's not how you do. That will not give you a good result. So this is in the book Creative Confidence, in a page somewhere around in the middle. There's a column about hybrid insight, and it talks about hybrid insight. It is an approach that integrates quantitative research into human-centered design. Hybrid insights allow us to embed stories in data, bringing the data to life. It brings the why and the what together. So it's really resonates with what we've been talking about, right? So don't be very stubborn person who really loves design thinking and does nothing else. That's almost like an innovation man again. Okay, you're just missing a point. You're trying to create a new value, and design thinking is there as an approach. So try to combine with some other things. In this example, this is talking about big data and human-centered design, because these two sounds very different, sounds like an opposite ideas or concept, but no, they can collaborate in a good way to create a new value. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. So don't be innovation man anyways, okay? Don't just be like very narrow-minded person. It's about new value creation, and you're trying a lot of things to create a new value, and design thinking is one of that. Okay, so that's that. Okay, I'm on time, good. So that was our version of telling you about design thinking, right? And I put it in this way because you can read the details about the tool set, and you can go to IDEO website or David Kelly website and listen to him a lot. But I just wanted to give you some tips how you can, read or listen to David Kelly's talk. Otherwise, you'll get, sucked into the methodologies or the methods. That's what I really wanted to, show you, give you a little guide so that you can pursue different materials. Okay, and now is a time to give you an instruction for the workshop today. So, can you give them 2-1? Yes, good. Oh, any question? Yes.
So you have some experience with working with companies
Yes.
regarding design.
Yes.
Is there any ways that we can propagate the mindset throughout the organization?
Well, it's hard. I mean, so without experiencing it by himself or herself, it's very difficult to believe that it works or it makes difference. So here, this is just my practical view, okay? Don't start with targeting 1,000 employees. Don't, that'll never work. So try to convince 5 people around you by, putting them through the experience. Even a very short experience can be just fine. So maybe the exercise we'll be doing today might give you some hint about how you can get them involved in the experience. But no lecture is good enough. But showing some of the videos that I showed you sometimes works, because when he or she is ready to understand that things, and yeah, there are some good people. I mean, people that can quickly pick up that image of the David Kelly. But yes, usually you need some experience, guided experience together. Then they will start to understand. So I would say don't try to talk them into design thinking. You can't. You need to let them do it and have a chance, them experience it. Yes, I think that's the case. And that's how we do. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So guided mastery is the key word, I guess. Yes.
Just one comment.
Sure.
So I feel that insight is some sort of stochastic processes or stochastic process in terms that it changes by time. Static systems are usually not existing. Systems are dynamic.
Exactly.
So insights are changing by time. And that creates some sort of randomness. And in that sense, how we can capture the major insight that's going to prevail over this randomness?
Well, you're really asking me a good question, practical questions. So, in the real process, you find insight-looking things, right? The things that looks like an insight, right? But it turns out to be just a rock, or just a trash, or a garbage. So in the process, the real process, you say, oh, we found an insight. And while you're, of course you'll keep it, right? You'll keep it and you use it and you turn it around and you maybe do things around it, and you find out, oh, it's not. And then you find another one. Or on the way you find several insights. And at the end, when you come to certain point, you say, hey, this is the insight. Yeah.
Shouldn't we keep an insight list?
Yeah.
Just not one or two insight list.
Yes. So to be practical, you're correct. So it's insights. Yeah. Or candidate of insight. Yeah. So there's an insight, there's an insight, there's an insight, and as the process goes on, you'll probably get to the insight or several insights that are very, very important. Yeah. Or you think it's important. And I did not put it there. It's so difficult to convince others that this is a good insight. Yeah, trust me, it's so hard. Remember talking about innovativeness yesterday? It was hard, right? So it's very difficult to convince somebody that your insight is very innovative and it will trigger the innovation. It's very difficult. So you kind of need to be, you need to train yourself how to express your insight, how to describe your insight. Yes. But that's a very good question. It's a very practical question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Before we go to lunch, I want to give you, how do I do this? Okay. I want to give you the instruction. Okay? So I want you to do this while lunch too. So I'm going to change around the order. So the workshop plan, it's a one sheet of paper that's going around. Okay, yeah, that. So here's a workshop plan for today. So I wanted to do brainstorming practice before we go to lunch, but it's okay. We can do that after lunch. But I want you to do the observation, okay? And then ideation and prototyping and testing. That'll be our afternoon session. So I'm gonna skip the brainstorming practice and I'm gonna jump onto the field work. Do you have that number 2? Good. Observation. Good.
I think observation is already.
Oh, already there? Okay, do you have the observation package? Something look like, okay. Okay, so yeah, it's the page that says healthcare and design thinking observation. So it's right. It's kind of look like that. Okay. So it's a page. I don't know. Yeah, it's stuck together. So can you find it? Find it? Yeah. Okay. So okay, I want you to do observation while you're having lunch too. Okay. So, and then, of course, according to the 4 mindset, it's human-centered, okay? I think this part is more emphasized in this observation. So, okay, let's do a little exercise. You don't have to look at your pages. Let's do a little exercise before we get into the thing. Imagine this is sitting in front of you, okay? Just imagine. You're not looking at a picture. You're really looking at this thing, okay? And describe what you observe. Same in Japanese. Okay, you see this as a portable? What else? Anybody? Yeah. Transparent. You're careful. Okay. Good. What's that? Okay, it sits on the brown wooden desk. Some bubble. Yes. Okay. Half full, yes. Half empty, yes. That's. But okay, yeah. Let's stop. I think I like that because one says half full, one says half empty. Okay. Where's the truth?
Full. Half with water and half with air.
So those comments were mix of facts and opinions, right? Which one was facts? What about, okay, he said it's transparent. Maybe that's a fact, right? He didn't say it's a water because maybe this is nitroglycerin that can explode, right? He didn't say it's a water, but he said it's transparent. I think that's fact, right? Half full or half, I don't know if it was the other way around. That's an opinion, right? There is a half amount of transparent, probably liquid inside this bottle-looking thing. That's a fact, right? So that's what you want to be very careful about when you go out and observe, okay? Fact and opinion, all right? So fact is a statement that can be proven by direct experience or objective verification. True? And the opinion is a statement of a belief or judgment that cannot be objectively proven true or false. Just like bottle is half full, bottle is half empty. We cannot prove that unless we have been sitting there and looking at it, right? Right. So when you go out, be careful about the fact and opinion. Okay? So when you're out there observing, try to put the field note like this. The fact and opinion. Try to write down the facts, and you can of course put some opinion on it. But this is, you can argue about it. So if you see baby making noise, do you say he's crying? No, I would say he's making noise, but he may be crying, or because he's sad. He may be just, I don't know, having fun. Who knows, right? So, because, in our daily conversations, this is all mixed together. It's okay, right? Because you don't want to be that weird guy talking about, oh, that's a fact, that's an opinion. Yeah, you'll lose your friends. You'll lose most of your friends. Don't do that. But when you're observing in the design thinking mode, design thinking process, or any thinking process, you want to be very careful about what's fact and what's opinion. She may be walking slow, and you may think, oh, she has a, her leg hurts, or she's just too old to walk, or whatever. But she may be an Olympian who won a gold medal in I don't know, some years ago, right? You know nothing about it. But what you have seen is what you're seeing, okay? So try to be very careful about facts and opinions. And if you start arguing the facts, I don't know, I think nothing can be described on the left-hand side of the paper. But so be a little bit, I don't know, loose about the fact. Because you can doubt just about everything. This world is not a real world. I'm a I don't know, Matrix Neo that I don't believe in, yeah. You can go to that extent, but no. But, but be careful about, is she really smiling, or is she just, her lips are just going up? Because smiling is an opinion, right? Her lips going up isn't a fact, right? Yeah, so, okay, so observation for human-centered insight. Okay, go out and conduct observation as a team. Take fieldwork notes in fact-opinion format. And come back and review and discuss the notes. And find insight that may lead you to a new value creation in the healthcare domain. So let's go back to the sheet. Oh, here. The one sheet that I gave you. So this is the scope of the workshop, the context. Okay? So the context I'm giving you today is a healthcare. Okay? So imagine you are a team thinking about launching a startup business in healthcare domain. Just imagine that. Okay, let's put that in context. Otherwise, you can just observe anything, right? And then it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be fun, but it's going to take 3 more days to go. So I'll just give you a context. Just follow and imagine you are actually thinking about it. Okay? Your scope is global and have not decided what to focus on. So you are in the phase of developing your concept or very early idea as a team. All right? And of course, at the last bullet point, you can give your very original definition of healthcare. Okay? I don't care if you just really strictly follow the healthcare that does exist right now, but you can just define your own healthcare. And it could be product, service, I don't know what you have no idea where you're going. You're just kind of, brainstorming, sort of. And you're out there observing for opportunities. Okay? That's who you are. Okay? Good? Understood? Yeah? Okay, and when you come back and review and discuss the notes, here's what you're really doing. So you have this, facts and opinion, and now you start talking about insight. What are insights? What could be an insight? Or candidates of insight. Yeah, to be careful. So this is the discussion I would like you to do. And we have the big paper. Victor, can you take out the A3 paper and maybe put it up there so that people can just pick it up while they walk out? And okay, so I think you are almost ready, but not quite. Okay? Before you go do an observation, I'll give you the check or the test. If you can pass this test, you can go outside and do observation. All right? Okay, follow the instruction of the video. If you know this video, then be quiet. All right? Pay attention.
This is an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make?
Okay, I just stopped the video. Anyone wants to answer? Yeah. 13. Others?
21.
21? That's quite a difference, okay. Who else? 12. Others? 11. Okay. Let's restart the video. Whoops.
The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
So, did you get it? Did everyone see moonwalking bear? Sometimes we still have people what are we talking about? Is it 14? Is it 13? No, that's not the point. That's not the point. So I'm doing the second test. Okay, turn off the light, please.
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count?
You're not even counting.
The answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla?
Yes? Good, good. Right, I know. You were wondering whether it's gorilla or a bear or what.
This video is from research by Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris and is copyrighted.
So you think observation
It is available
is
for use in talks, training.
you think observation is easy, right? But remember the first video? You just missed out the bear. That's moonwalking. So, unless you are careful, you are seeing things you want to see. Okay? Even though you're careful, you may still be seeing what you want to see. Okay? So it's tough. And hypothesis or bias may haunt you. Okay? Because that's what you want to see. If you see an old person, then you want to see him or her struggling walking, probably. If you see baby, you want to see him or her, I don't know, crying, or I don't know, doing something weird. Something that baby should do, right? You don't expect them to be using smartphone and searching for something. But that's bias. My baby, she's 2. She can do smartphone very well. It's crazy. It's just so, I don't know, scary in a sense. That one.
What happens when she sees the TV? Does she try like swiping too?
I haven't tried that yet, but yes, but she does very well the swiping thing, so she may, right? So it's okay to have them, meaning hypothesis or any bias, but be ready to update them. Sometimes throw it away, okay? Be ready, okay? Because the world is full of surprises when you pay attention. And having different viewpoints may help you. So this is saying a very similar thing, but this is more intentional. Sometimes it helps you if you intentionally set some different viewpoints for observation. Okay? For example, let's focus on the actions or the behaviors of people. Not their facial expressions, but just behaviors. Or you can, I don't know, take roles. I'll look at the faces, I'll look in the behaviors, or something like that. So having a clear-cut viewpoint might help you to do observation, or you can just go out there and feel the field. That's okay. But just remember the experience that you missed the moonwalking bear, which is so obvious once you notice it. But if you don't, you don't. Right? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that what you have been seeing is what you wanted to see? You have been missing a lot of things. But don't get scared. Then you become Neo all of a sudden. Like, oh, this world is full of fake, king, whatever. But don't become like that, all right? So, here's, the instruction. So, you are the healthcare startup, right? And trying to observe the world and see for opportunities for your business. And go out and conduct observation as a team. Take fieldwork notes in fact opinion format, and you'll come back and add some insight. And I'll come back and review, discuss, and find insight. So I wanted to give you, so it's gonna be like this now. So I'll give you 60 minutes of lunch now, and another 60 minutes of field work. So come back in 2 hours. Okay? Come back here in 2 hours. So it's 12:50, quarter after 12. I want to see all of you be back at quarter after 2. Okay? With bunch of facts and bunch of opinions. And it's really nice if you have a very diverse nationality in your group. Then you have different biases or different boxes, different viewpoints. It's going to be fun. Okay? But it's going to be interesting whether the fact she found from India and him found from Malaysia are same or not. Fact should be the same, opinion should be different, but yeah, there are so many things that can happen. Okay? Any question on the instruction? Yes?
I just got this question. You showed this 2 videos,
Yeah.
and I have seen this kind of video before also.
Yes.
But this time it was like you showed 2 videos,
Yes.
and there was this interesting thing came in my mind.
Yes.
Like first time we missed the person doing the moonwalk.
Yeah. Oh, the bear. Yes.
Yeah, yes. So we missed it. But second time when I was looking for it, I missed the count.
Exactly.
So shouldn't, how you will say that being open but still have the eye on your object?
Yes.
Because objective was to count the number,
Right.
but still keeping your eyes open.
Right.
But while keeping your eyes open, we lose the concentration on our goal.
Yes.
So isn't how to manage that balance?
Very good question. That's why you have a team sometimes. Yeah, you just play different roles, right? So like I said, give different viewpoints to different team members. Then you put them together at the end. That's one way. Or sometimes you don't even have an objective when you go out. Think about the very early stage in the design stage. You know who you want to target. For example, mother with baby, okay? But you don't know what to focus. Then what you do is just you try to observe as much as possible. So the resolution, high resolution observation, every step, every little movement, you want to try to observe and write down the fact. That's another approach. So make it high resolution as possible so that you won't miss anything. Or rely on the technology, shoot the movie, take a video, and afterward you can go over it over and over, right? Yeah, if that thing was happening in front of you, you can take a video, and when you were there, you were just counting the number of balls bouncing, but in the video you may say, hey, there's a moon walking by. Not moon, bear walking by, or bear moon walking. Yes. Right, so, there are some different things you can do, but for today, thanks for bringing that up. You can take photos, right? As long as you don't get yelled at by him or her, but yeah. Or arrested, yes. Be careful about that. But yeah, you can do your video things if you think it'll help you. Yeah. But thanks for asking. So yes, your hypothesis bias can haunt you and give you another blindness. Okay. So now you get scary of doing observation because you might have a blind spot, a lot of them. But that's why you have a team. Okay? Alright. So good luck. I'll see you in 2 hours. And pick up the big white paper that we have ready for you. That's for your fieldwork note. And your fieldwork note should look like that. Okay? Alright. I'll see you in 2 hours.
Alright? Ready?
Yeah.
I have the goal line for the second thing, but I want to be part of it. So, where can I meet up? I don't really
I don't know. Where are we going?
Oh, maybe here.